Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something straight off the top. You can't sleep your way to success. I don't care what you heard. I don't care what your cousin said. You don't get blessed hitting the snooze button. Success doesn't wait for snoozers. That might sound blunt, but it's the raw truth. Every minute you spend under the covers while the world is already in motion, you're falling behind someone who decided to beat the sun. The people you admire, the ones out there making moves, living in purpose, achieving greatness, they aren't waiting for the alarm to go off 5 times. They're already up, already in the gym, already sending emails, already working the plan, while the rest of the world is still dreaming. And it's not because they have more energy than you, or because they're just morning people. No, it's because they made a decision to stop hitting snooze on their goals. When you hit snooze on your alarm, you're also hitting snooze on your potential. You're pushing aside the chance to take control of your day before the chaos begins. You're giving up that quiet time when the rest of the world is asleep and it's just you and your purpose. That early hour is not just about waking up early for the sake of it. It's about showing up for your life before life starts throwing things at you. Because once the calls start coming, the texts start buzzing, the boss starts demanding, and the family starts needing you, you've already lost the most powerful window of your day. The problem is we've been trained to think that sleep is a reward. And yes, rest is important, but there's a difference between rest and comfort. Rest restores you. Comfort delays you. Comfort tells you just 5 more minutes. But success doesn't wait those 5 minutes. Success is already on the move. While you're warm in bed thinking about how tired you are, someone else is out there cold tired too, but moving forward anyway. And every step they take while you're still in bed, that's a step closer to what you said you wanted. This isn't about burning yourself out. It's about waking up on purpose. It's about beating the average. The average person is reactive. The average person wakes up just in time to rush, to stress, to barely make it. But the ones who separate themselves, the top performers, the self-made people, the ones you read about and look up to, they decided to stop living life on delay. They get up when it's inconvenient. They move before the world is watching. Because success doesn't show up for the lazy. It doesn't tap on your window and say, hey, whenever you're ready. It shows up for the consistent, the committed, the ones who say, I may be tired, but I've got work to do. 4 a.m. is the hour of clarity and focus. There's something powerful about being awake before the rest of the world. It's not just quiet, it's sacred. That stillness you feel at 4 a.m. isn't just a lack of noise, it's an absence of pressure. There are no emails flooding in, no phone calls, no social media notifications trying to pull your attention in 20 directions. It's just you and your goals. Your mind isn't being bombarded with the stress of the day yet. It's fresh, unbothered, and wide open to receive ideas, strategy, and direction. Most people never realize how much their environment clutters their thoughts. During the day, your mind is dealing with constant input, tasks, people, problems, distractions. But at 4 a.m., the world is silent. That silence is a gift. It gives you space to think clearly, to plan without pressure, to visualize without interruption. It's a moment to hear your own voice, the one that gets drowned out by noise during the rest of the day. That voice might tell you what needs to change, where you're slacking, what you really want to build, and in that space, you can actually hear it. It's also a time where Your energy, though it may not feel at its peak yet, is still undivided. You haven't had to deal with people's problems, work emergencies, or emotional ups and downs. You're not in reaction mode, you're in creation mode. That's when the big ideas show up. It's not because 4 a.m.'s magical, it's because it's one of the rare times you're not being pulled in every direction. There's also a psychological edge. Waking up at 4 a.m. gives you a mental win before the day even begins. You've already made a sacrifice. You've already done something most won't. That gives you confidence. That gives you momentum. And once you start the day with clarity and focus, the rest of the day is no longer just about surviving. It's about executing with intention. The truth is, you don't need 10 hours in a day to change your life. You need 2 good hours of clarity. 2 good hours of pure focused effort can outwork an entire day of distracted activity. And where do those hours live? They live in the morning, before sunrise, before the world wakes up. That's when your best ideas can breathe and your mind has the room to stretch beyond limitations. Early mornings eliminate distractions. When you wake up before the rest of the world, you step into a space that's untouched by demands. Nobody's texting you, nobody's calling, no meetings, no errands, no deadlines breathing down your neck. It's just peace. That peace isn't something you find often during the day. And it's not something you can buy. It has to be claimed. And the best time to claim it is before the sun even thinks about rising. At 4 or 5 in the morning, there's no noise, no traffic outside, no chaos in your house, no mental clutter. That lack of distraction gives you the ability to zero in on what matters most. Whether it's your health, your mindset, your goals, or your faith, early mornings give you the space to lock in. You're not competing with notifications or to-do lists. You're not balancing the demands of others. You're not rushing. You're present. And in that presence, you're powerful. This is when you get to move without interference. You can work out with full intention, plan your day without pressure, read without noise, write without interruption. You can get hours of deep, focused effort done before most people even roll out of bed. That early silence becomes a weapon. It sharpens your thoughts, improves your discipline, and trains your mind to focus. Most people lose hours of their day to distractions they don't even notice. A quick scroll turns into 30 minutes. One call turns into a detour. One interruption throws off your entire rhythm. But in the early morning, those distractions don't exist yet. You're working in a window where time feels like it expands. You don't have to multitask. You don't have to rush. You can go deep instead of wide. That kind of focus leads to real progress, not just activity. And when you train yourself to take advantage of that undistracted time, you begin to realize just how much of your day is usually wasted. The truth is, most people don't lack time, they lack undisturbed time. And the early morning is the last honest place where that still exists. It's a space to get ahead, to move in silence, to build without applause, and to strengthen the parts of yourself that the world usually tries to scatter. Discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation is temporary. It's a feeling, and feelings change. One day you're fired up, ready to conquer the world, and the next day you're tired, frustrated, or just not in the mood. That's why relying on motivation is risky. It disappears the moment life gets uncomfortable. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. It shows up regardless. It gets out of bed when it's cold, when it's dark, when it's inconvenient. Discipline is the habit that carries you when motivation takes a day off. The difference between people who want success and people who actually get it is discipline. Everyone wants to be successful, but not everyone wants to do what it takes every day. Discipline means doing it when it's boring, doing it when it hurts, doing it when nobody's watching. You don't need a cheerleader when you got discipline. You don't need to wait until you feel inspired. You've trained yourself to act in spite of how you feel. Waking up early isn't about hype, it's about commitment. It's about proving to yourself every single morning that your goals matter more than your comfort. That kind of consistency builds something deeper than momentum. It builds character. And that character will outlast every burst of excitement, every wave of motivation. When everyone else falls off, gets tired, or gives up, discipline keeps you in the game. It's easy to be motivated for a week. It's easy to be excited when the vision is fresh. But what happens when it gets hard? When you don't see results, that's when most people quit. But discipline doesn't allow quitting. It tells you to keep moving, to trust the process, to show up and do the work even when the rewards aren't visible yet. The people who win, who build real success, they don't wait for inspiration. They build systems. They set alarms. They follow routines. They treat their goals like non-negotiables. That's what separates a wish from a plan. And it's not always flashy, it's not always fun, but it's always effective. Your future is shaped before sunrise. The decisions you make in those early hours determine the direction of your day, and over time, they shape your life. When you wake up early, you're choosing to take control. You're stepping into your day with intention instead of reacting to it. Those quiet morning hours are a blank canvas, untouched by the noise and pressure of the outside world. It's your time to create, to reflect, to build, to prepare. That's when you start laying bricks for the future you say you want before the world wakes up. You have the power to invest in yourself without distraction. You can feed your mind, move your body, grow your spirit. You can plan your next steps, evaluate your goals, check in with your progress. It's not about how long you work, it's about how clear and committed you are. The early morning gives you that clarity. That's when ideas flow more freely, when your priorities stand out more clearly, and when your thoughts aren't drowned out by noise. Most people let their day dictate their mindset. They wake up late, rush through the morning, and spend the rest of the day playing catch-up. But when you start your day before everyone else, you move differently. You're not behind, you're ahead. You're leading, not following. You're deciding how your day goes instead of letting it happen to you. Your morning habits are a preview of your future. If you use that time to sharpen your focus, to build discipline, and to take real steps toward your goals, then you're creating a future that's intentional, not accidental. Every early morning is an investment. Every quiet hour is a seed planted. And those small, consistent efforts start turning into momentum that compounds over time. Waking up early separates the hungry from the average. Most people want success, but only a few are willing to make the sacrifices that come with it. One of the clearest signs that someone is serious about growth is when they're willing to give up comfort for consistency. The average person chooses sleep. The hungry person chooses progress. It's not about perfection, it's about desire. If you really want something, you'll stop making excuses and start making adjustments. Getting up before the sun rises is one of those adjustments. It's a mindset shift. It says, I'm not waiting for life to hand me something. I'm getting up and going after it. That kind of mindset doesn't come from talking about your goals. It comes from doing the work, especially when it's hard. Waking up early isn't glamorous. It doesn't get applause, but it builds something in you that shows up in every area of your life. It builds toughness. It builds pride. It builds a fire that separates you from the crowd. The people who rise early aren't better than anyone else. They're just more intentional. They've decided that their dreams matter more than their excuses. They've chosen effort over ease. That's why they stand out. That's why they move faster, grow stronger, and last longer in the game. Success doesn't require genius. It requires grit. And grit is built in the dark, in silence, when nobody is watching. When you wake up early, you're not just gaining time, you're declaring who you are. You're saying, I want more, and I'm willing to show it. That quiet act of getting up, even when you don't feel like it, puts you in a different category. It draws a line between the comfortable and the committed.